People say that Atiku, the presidential candidate of PDP, is not different from Buhari. Is that true? And as the Deputy Director General PDP Presidential Campaign Council, how former President Alhaji Atiku different from President Buhari, and what do you think he will do differently if voted into office?
I think comparing Buhari to Atiku or comparing Atiku to Buhari is like comparing water and honey. The two are not the same. To start with, this is a thoroughbred Democrat. And this is a person who was a military leader and still believes, up till today, if you hear him talk, he will be reminiscing in the way and manner he had gotten people locked up, seize their assets, and have them sentenced to 100 years, 200 years, and so on and so forth. You have a person who had played both in the public and private sector. Here you have a person who had never been a player in the private sector. You have a person who had established businesses that have grown and had given a lot of employment to several hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. This is a person that had never set up any business in his life beyond maybe the ranch that he has, his 150 cows that have never gone. In the last 15 years have never gone beyond 150. None of them had delivered. You have here a consummate administrator. And then you have in Buhari an opposite of that. You have a person who believes in the rule of law, an entrenchment of democratic values. You have a person who does not believe in entrenchment of democratic values, even as he had benefited quite immeasurably from sustenance of democratic cultures and values. You have a person who is always willing to support court orders, and who, whenever there's anything that affects him fundamentally, goes to court because he believes in the rule of law and he believes in the efficacy of resolution of matters through due process. You have a person who has blatantly and consistently refused to obey court orders, coming out to tell the world that he has a right to decide on which order to believe and which order not to believe, which is, of course, he does not have that right, even as the president of this country. And so I can go on and on to show clearly to Nigerians, and indeed everybody, that there's a world of difference in terms of their posture, in terms of their beliefs, in terms of their pedigree, in terms of even their antecedents. So you can't compare somebody who is a thoroughbred Democrat with somebody who has always been living in the past world of tyranny, of oppression, as a military leader. So they are not the same, and they can never be the same. And that is why we are saying, for us in PDP today, we are bringing a product to Nigerians that is unassailable. We are bringing a product that is better than any other product that is in the market. We are bringing somebody that is a thoroughbred Democrat, somebody who is tried, somebody who is tested, somebody who is trusted, somebody who had been in office, and his performance and antecedents, while as vice president of this country, are there to speak for him. And then we've seen what President Buhari also, as a president of Nigeria, even when you decide to jettison what he had done as a military head of state, his performance is there also. By the time you compare and contrast, certainly like 7-up, the difference is very, very clear.
Okay, Honorable, let me not get you started. Anyway, viewers, we are still speaking with Alhaji Kabiru Tanimu Turaki, son.